Hello.
Yo, how's it going, man?
Hey. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm happy to finally procure a lesson from the genius himself.
Nice. Okay, all right. Can you maybe do a quick introduction, like for the stream and stuff, like how long you've been playing, what your tag is, where you're from, what are your goals for the game?
Yeah, I've been playing since about 2015. My name is Ahmad and my tag is Ahmad. I kind of ran out of ideas when I was at my first tournament, so I just went with my name and stuck with it. Um, yeah, I've been playing since 2015. I was originally from Florida, moved to MDVA in 2019. Um, I kind of started playing as I graduated college, so I was always playing Melee while having a full-time job and other responsibilities. But then when the pandemic hit, all my responsibilities except work kind of like faded away, and I had a lot more time for the game. So, as unfortunate as literally everything about that is and was, there was a part of me that was like rubbing my hands maniacally, like, hey, I can finally dedicate time to Melee.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as goals go, I mean, I think top 100 is sort of like the most immediate goal that I have in mind. And I guess we can see where we go from there.
Okay. All right. And what are we doing for the lesson today?
Yeah, so there were a few things that I wanted to think of that I've been thinking about melee wise. Just having talked to other players and playing and um I well first thing is about you. I feel like I'm really curious about how you improve. Um I mean I feel like I mean of course you have a lot of experience, but to have picked up Falco like maybe a year ago and to
Mm-hmm.
already be at the level that you're at is like pretty impressive. So there has to be at least some sort of process that you've like utilized in order to get there. So I'm very
Mm-hmm.
curious about that. If there is anything you could share about that, that'd be awesome. And
Okay.
this yeah. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is just the idea of like becoming lethal. And I guess what I mean by that is having a very, very strong punish game and very fast decision making to sort of back that up. When I think
Mm-hmm.
of like Zane and when I think of IBDW, those players in particular, like they will literally just kill you, and it's like, oh, how did that happen? Like in the blink of an eye. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very cool quality to have. I guess so. So those are the two main things.
Okay. So you wanted to know about how I approach like improvement, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Usually, what I so it kind of goes in cycles where I am trying specific things out, and I'm trying this and I'm trying that, and then I'll kind of bring it together and I'll try like really hard to just win using all of my stuff for like a couple days, and then I go back to trying to like test specific things. And um and so okay, so that's part of it. And then another part of it is I look for repeated situations that could have gone better, whether it's me not finishing a combo or me getting hit out of neutral or DIing something wrong. Because, like, sort of naturally, if you didn't DI and you just let go of the controller, your opponent would try to hit you with the same combo every time. If
Mhm.
you tech the same way, if they did that, they would just optimize a combo for your exact DI and then kill you. If you played neutral the same way every time, they would do the same thing. People have really bad habits in neutral. It's like every time you dash at somebody, they spot dodge. It's pretty easy to get, the same neutral opening over and over. So what I
Okay.
would do is I would just like watch my video, or I would just consult my memory, because a lot of times when something bad happens over and over, you get frustrated at it. And so
Hmm.
I would just find something that frustrated me, and then I would make sure to do fix that somehow. Like spend a few minutes, think about like, okay, what would I do there to fix that problem that keeps coming up? Then go into the game and practice it against people for a while. I don't really do solo practice outside of like basic tech skill stuff, and I usually don't solo practice basic tech skill much either. Um, but I just basically look for those repeated failures and then fix them. And it always seems like, oh man, like you probably have to do that like 500 times, you know, because there's all these little situations. But you would be surprised as you start fixing these issues that, like, if you're losing to like 20 different things and they're all different things and they don't repeat at all, then like, okay, now you're at a point where, you know, you have to start taking it a little slower. But that's pretty rare. Most of the time there's like a glaring issue and you fix it, and then you'll kind of move on to another level where there's like, well, now you avoid this, but now you get hit by this every time. You know, a lot of times the answer of what to work on is surprisingly obvious.
I gotcha. I guess the issue that I run into is like everything that when I watch myself play, I'm like, damn, this is just like one giant glaring error. I was like, where do I start with this guy? So I think the identification stage is difficult for me. So I guess what we could do is we could look at the VOD that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and we could keep the principles of your improvement in mind, and maybe focus on the being a fast guy who can kill people part that I also mentioned. Does that
Okay.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. A lot of time. Okay, so let me talk about the combo thing. A lot of times with the combo stuff, the the way it works is that people will know like full combos. So let's say they'll know a combo which is like A B C D. Then like if you know your full combo, so you know it ends at D, you know, then like because D is like, you know, maybe your shine off stage or something, or up smash where you kill. So you start out with your kill move, and then you know which moves kind of lead into that kill move, and you know like your best starters. But the reason why it's so important is because it, like, let's say you don't hit your starter and you hit with B, you need to be able to know to do B C D, you know, or C D, or A B C D. And so people a lot of times they know their combos that they want ahead of time, and the reason it's so fast is because maybe you hit somebody out of neutral and you end up in kind of like a little bit of like a, you know, a chaotic spot that you have to react to. A lot of times they'll get like, okay, I hit them randomly at a neutral and I get a tech chase, and then they'll tech chase and they'll tech chase and make sure that they start their tech chase with like a very orderly like they make sure that they only have to do like one kind of chaotic reaction, and then they immediately transition that into like their practiced combo that they do, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So a lot of
Yeah.
times like the reason why they seem so fast and snappy is because as like they don't need to look at their opponent to see which inputs to do next. They know which inputs to do after getting the hit, and so they'll just hit, and then they can immediately move and put themselves, because that's the thing that a lot of people do wrong. That is the big thing that makes people not combo well, is they hit their opponent and then they go, okay, so I hit and then I check the DI. Once I figure out the DI, then I go and hit them. But what the good players do is they hit somebody and then they immediately move to a position that they know will cover all those DIs. Like, for instance, you back air someone and you instantly dash out of it because you know that they're going to fly in that direction. And then that allows them to react to the DI. Or like maybe they'll get a hit and they know they can, so like they'll up air someone. And they know that they can up air someone again, and so they don't have to make this decision of like, I hit them, oh here they are, because a lot of times what'll happen is like the main reason a lot of people will miss combos like that is somebody will up air and then they kind of look for the DI, and then they see it and then they'll do like a dash full hop nair over a platform or something, but it's too late because then the person like techs on the platform and then you have to tech chase. Whereas somebody like Cody will do the up air and they know they can hit the other up air, so they already dash and they're just about to up air, and then they see the DI and then they just let the up air rip and they'll get there before the person techs on the platform.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically, they like it's very rehearsed already. They're not like they're reacting to the initial situation maybe, but they already have in mind like what they're looking for and what comes next.
Exactly, like all the time. Like they are not like doing these combos off the top of their head. Pretty
Okay.
much ever. There
Okay.
are occasions where you'll maybe get like a lot of times the creative part will be like a little link where you're like you do a combo and someone does like a crazy SDI and you're like maybe this move will help me get back on track. Like a lot of times you'll see like an interesting weak hit or a reverse hit or something weird in the combo and then the person keeps going afterward. It's because like it was like rehearsed combo, oops, something weird happened. Maybe this hit will get me back into like my rehearsed zone and they do it and then it does and then they keep going. It's not like they're just like the, geniuses of improvisation.
I'm gonna take this knowledge, but still pretend that they're just geniuses because it's more fun that way. But yeah, that's some good insight. Um,
you just
yeah,
you're just gonna watch like I am going to ignore this knowledge.
I don't want to know how the sausage is made. um, but yeah, that definitely sounds like something
That's funny.
that I need to build. So yeah, maybe we can use this bot as like a way for me to get some insight on how I can like build that for myself.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good idea. Okay, so the screen share is working.
Yeah.
Okay. So another way that you can do the improvement thing is that like instead of looking for very specific situations, like I'm saying, oh, this situation comes up a lot, and you said, well, a lot of times for you the problem is like identifying this repeated situation that happens. A lot of times you can actually judge it based off of feeling because it might not be a specific situation. It might be like a type of situation. So I like the word just, where like if you are losing to something or someone, try to describe it with the word just, not in an angry way, because people go, oh, he's just running away, like that.
Yeah.
But there is something to that concept where you say, oh, he's just waiting for me to do this and then he fares or whatever, And then you go, okay, is that really happening? And you watch the VOD and you look at those situations in particular where it has that feeling of he's just doing X and figure out what to do to counter that.
Okay. That's good.
Because even if you can't get the specifics, everybody gets that feeling of like, dude, this guy is just blah blahing. Like he's just doing that. He doesn't know anything else,
Yeah, I'm sure people feel that way when playing me too.
Oh, I'm sure. It's universal. I feel like that playing Mango too, or Zane. They're like, oh, he's just dash dancing and looking for standard options. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I say it like every time. Okay. Would not recommend attacking Marth off the platform.
I am the Marth, FYI.
Oh, you are the Marth. Okay.
Yeah, I am the Marth.
Well, tell this guy stop attacking off the platform. Oh yeah, okay. I just didn't look at this at all. I just assumed you were Fox, but I can do it from the Marth side too.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, from the Marth side. Okay, this is a lot easier to teach how to combo.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, why are you shielding here?
I don't know. I rewatched this and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so we'll see if this comes up again. But whenever there's something where you're like, whoa, why did I do that? Just keep note of it, and we'll see if this happens again because it might be like something. It might be a problem.
Okay.
Okay, I like the light shield.
I should be dead.
Huh. What were you trying to do out of the shield attack? I'm not going to focus too much on like the little details, but I'm curious what you were trying to do here. Like right here. So this happens. Oh, you tried to shield grab? That's crazy.
That doesn't represent me. I don't know. That was a different guy. That must be the wrong one.
Yo, I'm not that person anymore.
I'm different. This was actually a couple weeks ago. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that shine by him. Okay, good recovery. Okay. Let's see. One thing right here is you don't want to counter this. something that'd probably be better here is you can wave dash to here, and then when he comes up, you can either do like a down tilt or you can do like a fair down tilt and get him off and go for the up B. Because these situations where Fox has this up B or this up B, this is really risky because he could have just up B'd straight up and gotten away for free. So you 50-50'd him in a situation where he was guaranteed to be dead.
Okay, that makes sense. And
Okay, gonna ignore that. This is something small, but like I would watch out for this angle right here. This drop through angle, because Fox is invincible, and a lot of Foxes here will do this little like I've had to deal with this as Falco too, where like I'll stand here and shield, and then I shield drop right here, and then people just like short hop and hit me out of this. But like this is kind of similar right here, where like you can't be fairing here because like you had the platform in the way. So you're basically a sitting duck, and he's invincible, and he can short hop nair shine you here and put you in a really, really bad spot. So just like be super careful here. Okay. What is the world is happening here?
this game is a little janky, but there are 4 games to choose from. So
okay, I'll go through it a little faster then.
Case in point.
It happened. Okay. I'm assuming this was in tournament.
No, these are just friendly.
Oh, okay. This has a very like tournament, like win at all cost vibe.
It looks like I'm playing for my life right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll ignore it for now.
I feel like it's a problem if we have to ignore half the game, though. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it definitely is, but we'll get to that after we look at the other games.
All right.
Like at this point in the game, you've done every single thing wrong and read him 100 times, and
Dude,
that's why you're winning.
I'm a cerebral player, bro. No.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the next game pretty soon, and just count this as like a warm up. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good dash 10. Okay, that was good.
No.
Okay. All right, next game. Okay, so we're reviewing the very first game here.
yeah, that was another guy.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So, what's up with all the forward smashes?
I legitimately I look at this, I'm like, this is all wrong. Like,
yeah.
I really don't know. I feel like I oscillate between being like almost good at the game and really bad at the game. And I feel like this is me more towards on the bad at the game side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's working. It's not getting me super blown up because of, I guess, I think I'm one of my strengths is like I'm decent at like the player versus player side of things, which is why like my hard reads are like working out. Although like they could very easily like not work out. Like I'm like hard covering one option and getting it right repeatedly, but life doesn't have to be so hard, I guess. So yeah, I really don't have an answer for the forward smashes.
Okay, so it usually when somebody's like good at the game sometimes, bad at the game sometimes, it can even be specific as like good at a matchup sometimes, good at a matchup, or bad at a matchup other times. Usually what that means is like it's an indicator of intuitive play where someone does not know what is good and bad, and so they kind of just do different things based on how they're feeling, and sometimes those things happen to be the right things, and sometimes those things happen to be the wrong thing. And a lot of times it'll lead to things like getting reverse 3-0'd where you're doing something really well and then suddenly it's game 3 and they take it, and then you go like, wait, what was I supposed to be doing again? And then you kind of get beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so that a lot of times is because, like, and a lot of times the forward smashes come from, like, a place of unconfidence, where
Yes, that's
they come from a
exactly it.
place where, like, somebody's in a spot, and, like, you don't really know what to do, but the forward smash kind of covers a certain range, and so you're like, well, I might as well, forward smash because I'm running out of time to pick an option, And
Yeah.
so, basically, the forward smashes that you're doing aren't that bad because Marth gets an edge guard out of them, but they should be saved. Like, even Zane definitely has those situations where he just doesn't know which move to use, so he'll forward smash. But what your goal should be is to minimize those as much as possible. Like,
Mhm.
everything should be, like, as a Marth who is learning and not playing in tournament, you should basically be doing 0 forward smashes in neutral.
0.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, I
like
got a long way to go before I get to 0.
so here's the reason is okay, so what's better? A weak forward smash that gets an edge guard that might kill someone, or forward air down air that does kill someone?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's better to get the kill than set up an edge guard, or a lot of times as you get better, people will tech your forward smashes on the edge and you won't get anything.
Right.
And so like the thing is the forward smash is not bad, but and so here's the problem is that there are certain Marths who go a long time without the forward smash at all because they get too locked in that mentality for too long. Like they'll spend like a year not forward smashing at all in neutral to learn. But then they're like, okay, am I the best Marth on Earth yet? Not yet. Okay, I must continue not forward smashing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the thing is that it's okay to add the forward smashes. Like, what I would say is, like, once a month, play, like, one session where you allow yourself to forward smash whenever you want. And
Okay.
the majority of the time, do not forward smash in neutral. Like, you're standing there and they're dash dancing in front of you. Do not forward smash at all. Like, every time you forward smash, be like, I have failed.
Wow. Okay. That's a little extreme. But I'm rocking with that. What do you think the benefits of that are?
So the reason is that the forward smash gives up control of the game because all your opponent has to do is shield and you have big time lost the situation. And so your goal should always be to win off of your opponent overcommitting. That is the easiest and most consistent way to win the game, is to get your opponent to whiff something and then you hit them. So your goal should always be to win off of whiffs. The better your opponent is, the harder they're going to make it to win off of whiffs, but that doesn't mean that you instantly switch to throwing out moves, like heavy commitment moves, because then they're winning. Like, if you think about it from the other person's perspective, they want to win off of you committing. And so if they know that you're going to commit to all these forward smashes and they just shield it or roll or whatever, then you have lost. You have completely lost the situation. And it's like, if you use lower commitment moves, you do more dash dance, you do more aerials to set up, then you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not committing as hard if you fail, which is like objectively better play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like
That makes sense.
So like it might sound extreme to tell you not to forward smash at all in neutral, but every single one that you're doing is lazy. So it's like if you want to get better, you shouldn't be doing, the lazy stuff.
For sure. I definitely agree.
In fact, the fact that it sounds extreme shows your reliance on the forward smash.
You might be onto something.
It's kind of like a fox, and they keep and like you're playing against a fox who keeps dash up smashing you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, when that up smash hits, it's like pretty strong, but it's like what happens when you shield? It's like the fox gave you control of the game and gambled,
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, one sec. Okay, so you get this. Okay, it's hard to hit that one on the platform. Okay, it happens. And so in terms of these platform combos, this is just something you have to like think about more. I think the way it looks is that you're kind of like, well, I'm Marth. As long as I do up airs and up tilts, the combo should keep going. Mm-hmm. And that's like very tempting because there are so many times where you can do that and it does keep going. But like there are actually a lot of situations that come up during this, and it's a bit more complicated than it looks. Like in this spot, like right here, when you know that he's at pretty low percent and he techs in place on like a Dreamland platform especially, and pretty much this would happen on Battlefield too or anywhere, is like you're not going to have time to do a late up air here,
Okay.
So it's like this is just a situation. So it's like, well, you can do instant up air here and tipper it, or you can up tilt. And you have to be able to know that, like, you're not going to be able to do it here. So basically, it's just, like, sort of, like, look at... it's just very tempting to look at these situations and kind of gloss over it and be like, I need to hit the up airs next time, Because it seems so basic of just up airing on the platform, but it is more complicated than you think. And so being able to look at this and say, okay, next time when I do this and they're pretty low percent and I up throw, I need to be aware that they could tech in place here and the late up air won't work.
So can I cover everything, or do I have to guess?
At that percent, you can. Let me see. Did that. You might be able to. I don't know for sure on that exact situation. But it's possible.
Okay.
It's kind of up to you to look at the situation and then maybe like lab it. Like put Fox at 37, go into Uncle Punch, do it, and then try it out.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
And so it's so here's a situation where you're like, oh man, I totally got this sick read on here. But it's like, oh, what if you had grabbed instead,
Yeah, grabbing would have been a lot better.
And hey, look, he's doing what you're doing. He's like, give me that up smash! And then it's like, oh man, like, isn't it crazy that I'm telling him to stop doing up smash and neutral entirely, It's like no, because it's completely giving you control of the situation and you win the situation for free without any effort.
Right. Well, it worked out for him.
This is something small, but this is actually where you probably should have F smashed. Like right here.
Yeah, I see
like wave
that.
dash forward smash or something here. It's like
Yeah.
the dash attack is not really recommended here just because it gives Fox like look at that, he got out even for more free than I thought he would. Or you can forward air here, like short hop forward air. Okay, that was good. Okay, that works. Funny edge guard. So this is like something kind of small, but like you need to be dashing out of these scrambles.
Okay.
So like right here, like I know it's so this one maybe not so much, but like basically like after this and you're here and like this kind of stuff is happening, you need to be dashing here instead of doing aerials in place. Marth's
Right.
dash back is, half invincible basically, so you need to be like using it. Marth does not have very good options out of scrambles, especially throwing out moves. You'll a lot of times get really like bullied by the Fox. They're just better at throwing out moves. Oh yeah, so here we go. So here's like this forward smash again, and it's like the read you're making here could have very easily been a move that doesn't just get shield grabbed right here by him,
Yeah.
And this is not very good either. Like this is like the way you beat like unranked foxes, but like no fox in their right mind will ever just give you an easy shield grab here. So you're basically like putting yourself in a situation where once again you're kind of giving up activity here. Like if you had, it was fine to do this shield immediately, but then like once he's kind of shielding, I would try to just wave dash out and get to the center. And there you're moving there, and it helped a lot. Yeah, so a lot of this seems to be that like you you don't have enough confidence in your ability to play in like an orderly fashion, and so but you want to win, so you end up kind of doing a lot of like default options, and then these default options kind of work against the people you're playing, and so they get reinforced in your head, and then eventually you're trying to play as well as you can, and you're forward smashing here.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
it's like eventually this will not be in this position. I can actually tell this was not even a choice. Like you didn't even try to do this, like in the sense that like you weren't consciously like that's a spot to forward smash. It was just like there he is, smack him. And it's kind of like it doesn't get you anything. And so like while you're playing, this won't feel that bad because you'll be like, I'm hitting him, I'm still hitting him. He comes back. Okay, I'm gonna keep getting him off. This is like how you're kind of thinking the situation. You're like, I'm gonna keep throwing him off the stage. Like, gonna keep making progress here. And it's like, wait a minute. If you just go back and you look at that, Zayn would have grabbed here and won the game, rather than having to play this whole thing out afterward.
I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, once again, you need to be dashing here. Doesn't matter which way, but you need to be dashing there. And yeah, if you just kind of sit there and shield, like you're not gonna win those. You'll always just get beat up somehow unless you start moving. So that's the main thing that I'm kind of noticing, is there's like that little bit of like, it's not even necessarily that you're lazy, but that like you did lazy stuff in place of learning things, and then it got reinforced, and now you're like stuck with a bunch of like kind of stuff that's not that good.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that the note that you made about the confidence is really, it resonated because I think of myself as a very unconfident player. I feel like in my head, I feel like theoretically I understand what to do in a lot of situations, but what my hands do, what my monkey brain tells me to do in the game, are just total worlds apart from what I know to be correct. And I don't really know how to get myself to make my gameplay reflect, like, I guess, my ideal self as a player, if that makes sense.
So what I would say is you need to look, So a lot of times it can be a difference of perspective that can help out with something like that, where someone, the game, while the game is sometimes a fight and you should get that fighting feeling, there are a lot of times, especially during practice games and especially against like practice partners and stuff like that, where it should absolutely not feel like a fight at all. It should feel like nothing matters but doing this thing I am working on.
Okay.
So it can be very tempting to always just sort of play melee. This is like everybody I know who's like kind of pretty decent at this game. They just sit down and they just try to win. They just try to play every game. And anything that they want to change or improve, they have to, work that in to their incredibly busy schedule of trying to like just win. And so it's like a resistance, or it's like a big struggle to sort of adjust or add things, because they're trying to get better at things while they're driving in traffic or whatever, and it's like it doesn't need to necessarily feel like you're doing things on top of driving in traffic, because in this game you can just ignore all that other stuff and focus on the thing. So it's like, if you are feeling like, I can tell in these friendlies you are experiencing fear, and it's like there's nothing at stake for losing these matches, and you have to be able to look past the game saying you won or lost and look at each game you are playing as like a potential for experience in the direction you want. So it's just it's definitely like a mental thing, but sort of removing the idea of, fear from the equation, because by removing the attachment to the result of the game and changing the attachment to how well did I practice my thing. And it's difficult to do that, especially when you're playing against an opponent who may or may not be like very snarky when they win. But if they are, don't practice against those people. Or inform them. I'm trying, because there are some people that I play who I like, it's very competitive, but if you say, okay, I'm working on some stuff, then they're not gonna like take it as seriously,
For sure. That definitely makes sense. I'll say that I feel like when I am playing friendlies, my perception of myself is that I'm doing the thing where I'm working on things that I want to work on, but these games definitely don't illustrate that. I think that because this is like a player who's better than me, I was like, I gotta beat this guy, or I gotta try to beat this guy as hard as I can. I have a lot easier of time, I guess, being in that more unattached mindset versus players that I've either played pretty often or just feel like pretty comfortable against otherwise. So
yeah, so when you're playing a better player, it's kind of like you want to see it as, because I agree it is harder, but you kind of want to see it as like, is my stuff that I've practiced, when performed correctly, good enough to beat this person, rather than like, can I get W's against this person? Because those are like two very different questions. Like, the number of people that I can beat and the number of people that I can beat by using the things that I know are good is a little bit different. Because like, I can play a low tier in tournament and I can kind of dash in, wave dash back, and I can convince somebody to do something dumb, and then I can get kills out of that. I can back throw someone with Link and they double jump and I up B, and I'm like, whoa, But like, that would be different from me trying to actually like do things that I know are like very like solid.
Right. Yeah, that's a good distinction. That's definitely a good distinction. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna sit with that one.
Good. Okay.
So based off of what you've seen, what are the things that you think that I should be working on? I mean, we talked about the F Smash thing, but I don't think that's gonna, make me a god tier player overnight. And I'm sure that there's like other things that I need to be working on.
Okay. Yeah. So playing for your opponent to overcommit is a big one. There's a lot of situations where you are committing first as the Marth, and you don't really want to do that. You want your opponent to overcommit. That is something that you can practice in neutral. Something that would help with that, like I mentioned before, is dashing out of scrambles. A lot of times you get in a scramble or a dangerous situation and you think, I want to hit them. But the thing is you trying to hit them has counterplay. It's much better to say, how do I avoid them hitting me in a way that I can punish them? Or how can I bait them, you know? So,
Okay.
yeah, because you don't want to just, like, leave the lesson and me being like, yeah, that was a great lesson. I told the guy to not forward smash as much, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a little
Okay.
bit... So, it's more of the general approach to how you are playing the game in terms of, like... Because you're saying, like, man, I wish I could have killer combos, right? As you said something like that at the beginning, where you wish your combos could kind of, like, tear people apart. And that'd be sick. The problem is, in these games, you haven't gone for a single combo. Like, you haven't tried to do a combo. So it's like, what I should be seeing is you doing, comboing someone to, like, 130, and then just failing the kill move. That's what I expected to see based on what you were telling me. Is that I expected to see someone who was trying really hard to do these big combos and then, like, not securing the kill maybe or something like that. But it's more of the case that, like, you don't go for any big combos. And then you're like, man, it'd be nice if I could do some big combos. And it's like, well, if you're not going to try to do the big combos, you're not going to be able to practice them. You're not going to get experience. You know, you need experience going for big combos and missing them in order to hit them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like, whatever you want in the game, try to do it. And then you can use those other things that I was talking about where you're like, I went for these big combos because instead of the forward smash, because the forward smash is like the mind killer, you know? The forward smash is like, I am no longer comboing. I am no longer thinking this forward smash will hit and we can go back to neutral. And it's or an edge guard. And it's kind of like, so you want to get more experience attempting to combo, and then, like, when this entire video that you send me or whatever, or you're looking at yourself, when your entire video is you trying to do sick combos and then, like, missing them somehow, then you can find ways that you are repeatedly failing your combos, like I was mentioning earlier, and then you can fix those things. And then eventually you end up with, like, really solid combos.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I just wasn't expecting it to be, like, right there, like, as soon as I unpaused.
Hey,
Like,
listen, I'm hitting them though.
yeah, you got 12 damage or whatever. You got 14 damage.
I was sending a message, bro. Come on, you
It's like that. And you're like, man, I just don't get why I can't do big combos. You know, and it's like, well, it's a big one. Okay, that was a good combo attempt. Okay. So yeah, so this might be a situation then later, you're looking at this and you say, I should have full hop fared here, you know? Or something like that. And then you go, okay, next time I hit them and they go up here, I'll full hop fair. And then, there you go, you just built in a new branch to your tree. Because you were trying to go for a big combo and you failed.
Oh, I hate that.
And so there's a thing I like to say, which is like kind of it doesn't count in tournament, right? But it's better to lose than be bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of people kind of mix that up, and they go like, well, as long as I win, then I go out to lunch afterward and I'm happy, you know? And it's like, well, that might be true, and it's okay. It's okay to be like that, but you're not gonna get good. Like, people can have fun just winning, but it's way better to be a bad good player than a good bad player. Okay, wow. Okay, Fountain, thanks. I'd be so upset. No way.
Unlucky.
That is the... I'd be so upset.
I also missed the tech, so I wouldn't have been in that situation if I hit it.
I just hate the way that platform.
Yeah.
Okay, got this. Hey, look at that. This is the same situation. There we go. We found a repeat. Up throw, no DI, and you try to go for the late one. You're assuming he'll tech roll. So even if this ends up as a mix-up, I would say, try to see what you can cover here.
Gotcha.
On this type of platform, you might be able to do like early up air and then like fair the tech roll, or early up air fast fall up tilt if he's here or something. I'm not sure. Like I said, you have to. It's more complicated than you think. So what I would recommend is you literally, maybe not on this platform, height is like a little weird, but maybe this is closer to like Stadium or something, and go to Stadium and up throw him at 10% and then see what you can do and just sort of repeat it over and over and see what happens.
Okay, that makes sense.
But like all these little percent differences seem like they're really irrelevant, but they're not. Because, then you get to percents where Fox can slide off DI on a tech roll compared to like percents where he can't. And the combo game it just looks so simple because Marth is only using like 2 moves, but it's not. Aha, you see that time you got it. Because this is a percent where you can jump up, and if he teched in place here, you could have early up aired,
right,
on reaction. And here, so it looks sort of similar, but it's very easy in your brain to say, well, I missed the last time. I'll get it a different time. And then I hit it the next time. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. But those were 2 completely different combo situations,
I see. Okay. I don't know what that...
That's okay. It's just really... There's so many little traps. Okay, that was a good forward smash. Okay. Okay. Wow, good SDI. Okay. So let's see what happened here on this one. Okay, so... Yeah, I don't really know on this one. It was kind of like, well, he did miss tech, and you couldn't really react before he missed tech, but then he did, and I don't know. That's kind of tricky. On ones like that, where it's kind of ambiguous, what I would say is, like, work on the ones where it was really obvious, like a very specific, obvious situation. Mm-hmm. And then, like, once you have all of those, it's a lot easier to, like, maybe reason about a more nuanced spot like that. Or you might have... let's say, you're moving frame perfectly for one of those previous combos we were talking about, and then that will give you a better perspective on, like, okay, so the frame perfect option for A doesn't work, and the frame perfect option for B doesn't work. So what does work? But until you have A and B down, there's not really, like, a way that you can, like, structure how to actually respond to something like that.
Gotcha.
That was a lot better in neutral, although you got hit because he read you, but it was still good. Something small right here.
I was just gonna say, I felt like the neutral I was playing didn't make sense, so it's interesting that you thought that was better.
You felt like this didn't make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you fair and he dashes back. So you think he's gonna dash in to punish the fair. So you dash away. Then right here, he does this little short dash and a dash in. So you think he's gonna take center. So you do this nair here. Then you think he's going to punish your nair, which he does come in to punish your nair. And then all you had to do here was pivot grab, and you would have won the situation. But you went further into the corner, and you kind of read that he was going to, like, keep attacking, and you just pivot grab slightly wrong. But otherwise, this was, like, perfectly fine. Like, you did this fair, or you did this nair, and you ran back. In a situation where... the problem was kind of just that you just didn't grab at the right point, like, because this was totally fine, this was good, even this was good, except you didn't grab until you were already all the way in the corner, and this sort of turned it into, like, he the only way this would have hit is if he really all the way across the stage did commit into you. And he did anyway, but it wasn't at the exact timing that you wanted. So I would say, like, this is fine as long as you pivot grab, like, right here. But the dash dancing and the fact that you're doing, like, aerial, he has to move away because of my aerial. Is he going to come in to punish me? I can kind of be ready for that. Is he going to wait after I do my attack? Maybe I can move in a little bit, you know? Those are the types of neutral situations you want to be playing. And this is something kind of small right here, but always do a neutral jump right here. Don't forward jump. Neutral jump, so that he can't drop, so he can't shine you.
Okay.
Okay. The grab, that's good. Okay. Yeah, missed reaction there. Okay, so that's just an issue of like, oh, I need to make sure to like really react here, you know. But the move choice was fine. So this, I actually could have. So I actually would have been down to see a counter here.
Okay.
Even though he can tech it, this is the other thing you can do here is you can kind of like stand. You can wave dash to here or dash back here, and then like kind of fair down tilt. I actually really like doing that with Marth here, like because he can't tech the fair, and so I'll just stand here and sort of option cover with like weak fair. Like he can't sweet spot the edge on this stage here, so I know he'll pop over, and I'll just be like, oh, you can even jump in place here, and then just be like fair, and then just run off and up B it or whatever.
Maybe I could have dared. I'm not really sure.
There were a lot of ways to kill him there.
Yeah, I chose none of the above. Let's go.
It happens. The thing is making bad decisions is fine. Making bad decisions is totally good, as long as you notice.
Yeah.
Making bad decisions is only bad when you don't realize it and you just keep playing. But as long as you're like, oh, I could have done a way better option in this spot, then it's fine, you know? That's just life. Like, life experience leads to better choices. If you realize your mistakes. If you don't realize your mistakes, you're just going to keep doing the same thing every day. And so it's like, oh man, I'm so good. Run up, forward smash, down air, and you're like, woo! And it's like, and Ahmad learned 0 things that day. Like,
true. You're right.
So like the thing is like when you're doing this in tournament someday and you hit somebody with this, it's okay. This is fine in tournament because in tournament anything goes. But you don't want this, like, what you want is for this to be your last stock game 5 against Leffen, and you have this galaxy brain read based on the entire set, where every time he does this double laser, he does another dash dance here, and you're like, I've got you now! And then you hit him with this, you know? But what you don't want is for, like, this to come out game 1, and then he just knows that you do it, and then you are the one who gets red, and he just shields it next time and wins the entire set because you no longer have anything to do here. So it's like, this is like, while it works and it's not awful, and it's a good read on where Fox is, it's not good practice.
Yes. I will say, though, my success rate has been pretty good. And that's why I do it, and that's why it's bad. I keep
yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, your success rate being good there, all that means is you are successfully understanding what your opponent is going to do. But you could successfully understand what they're going to do while also respecting the risk. So, like let's say you have like an 85% read on someone. And right now you're acting off of your 85% read with a 100% commitment, leaving the other 15% to chance, where you will just lose. And it's like, you can take your 85% read and do something, and do like a neutral option that's like 80% safe, you know? Maybe it's like a 20% commitment for an 85% read. You know, these are just random numbers, but you're like, wow, like, you know, 85% of the time I kill this guy here, and the 15% of the time that I'm wrong, only like 10% of those times that I'm wrong does he even hit me. You know, that is like way better because you're removing the chaos. You're limiting your risk based on the probability. You're not like, well, I have a good idea here, so I'm gonna full commit, because then you're giving up a lot of the control and safety that you could have had. You know, if you have a read on his position there, you could have tip or faired him. So like if he's right here, and you had this exact read, so let me find it. So you have this exact read right here, where you know what he's going to do. Oops, man, I missed it. Okay. Okay, so right here you have this exact read right here. Instead of this forward smash, what if you did a dash, jump, tipper fair here, you know? So you all you had to do was just wave dash and you faired here. Tipper fair would have put him here, and then you just do, you know, fair down air or fair forward smash or fair down air, etc. And he's dead here, except you didn't commit to like, wah, you know, like craziness, like forward smash. And the thing is, like I said, totally fine forward smash. Not a good forward smash to rely on.
For sure. I just got beasted on. It happens.
Oh, yeah, no. You're going to get comboed every now and then. What's this? Also, one thing is you need to start more of your dashes with a dash in. Pretty much every dash you do starts with a way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that forward smash. Yeah, so here we go of like, you let it rip here, but, you know, you could have just died here if he had up smashed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, better luck at Genesis next year, you know?
Yeah. I would have had to unplug my controller if he up smashed there. I would have had to unplug my controller if he up smashed there. I just had to leave.
Plenty of people can hit this up smash.
Yeah.
Plenty. I think something that kind of helped me when I was playing Marth is to like you need to like keep the word slippery in your head. Like Marth is not, you know, a big guy with a big hammer that smacks you with the hammer, and he's not the fast guy who flies in with a bunch of moves and hits you. He's slippery. He kind of moves around, and he has this big range on him, so you can't really get too close. And you kind of want to feel like you're kind of slipping around your opponent. And I think that would help, because I don't really get that slippery feeling. It's more like, this is the range of my sword, how do I hit him with sword? And it's like, it's not bad, but like, this was not a slippery down tilt. You know, this was not like a sneaky down tilt. You just kind of went for it.
Yeah, it's a very clumsy down tilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels very like straightforward, right? Very like, hit it with a rock. Okay, got this combo. Not much you can do about these here. I would say probably just up air this instead.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time. Like, basically, don't fair in your combos unless you're past the platforms of the stage you're on.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's like a pretty good little like thing to work with. Because otherwise, like, you know, it's really common for people to just super DI this up air to the right. And if he had just DI, I mean, he kind of did, and that's why he got this edge cancel. I'm almost certain he was DIing for your up air here, and he was just DIing to the right. So you would have just up aired, and then you up air again, like right. Like what would have happened is you up air here, right here, you up air here, and he would have gone like here, and then you up air again, and he has a chance to either go straight up, in, or off. And if he goes off, then feel free to forward air. If he goes up, then, you probably want to keep juggling or, set up for... You could maybe fair up here because he's for sure going to go past the platform. If he goes on stage, you keep up your up air string, stuff like
You
that.
can probably up B too. Well, that's what I did.
Yeah, it's kind of like exactly what we were saying. Is like, so you up air here, which is really good, and now that he's past the platforms, you can kind of do whatever. And this up B was fine, yeah. Okay, that was an okay combo. There were a few points where you could have done something a little bit better. Like this up tilt here was a little shaky. This is kind of what led to this whole ordeal. As like this. The right answer here is to tipper to the left. So yeah, you kind of end up in this spot, and then at a certain point, there's not much Marth can go for except for the up air nair there. So. It's not always, these later parts of the combo that affect it. Sometimes it's the early parts. Really? Was that not a dare? It might not have been. Maybe.
I may have weak hit. I've experienced weak hit too many times in my life. To go
weak hit dare here? No way.
I don't know.
The dare either would have missed or killed.
True.
So, yeah, like, the way the dare works is, like, the dare is the opposite of the forward smash, where, like, the dare only doesn't... So, like, the forward smash, if you hit with the weak hit and the strong hit, it'll weak hit. But with the down air, if you hit with the weak part and the strong part, it'll strong hit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if there's any sort of tipper there, it'll definitely hit. Okay. And a good way to finish it. With the forward smash, but it was an edge guard, so it's fine. Just symbolic. No.
For sure.
Okay, yeah, so we're about at an hour. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess if you were, like, pretend I'm a toddler, which I might be based off the F smashes.
Quite a voice for a toddler. Hey man, I'm here for kindergarten.
What's going on? But if there were just a few like concrete things that I should be doing to move forward, and I think we did discuss them. But
yeah, we've already been over it for sure, like the concrete stuff.
Yeah, but just like a little summary for little baby Ahmad, toddler Ahmad, first day kindergarten would be helpful.
Okay, don't forward smash in neutral at all.
Okay.
Ever.
That one's hard. Okay.
At least for like several months. Go for long combos. Recognize the complexity of your up air up tilt combos and focus on fixing specific issues through practice. Dash dance out of scrambles and just dash dance more in neutral in general. Try to make your opponent overcommit. Don't overcommit yourself. And play slippery. In addition, don't forward air when your opponent has platforms they could slide off of.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's probably the best summary. I think that goes over everything we talked about. But I would say rewatching the lesson is probably the best thing you could do.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm good to go. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome, man. Hope you have a good one.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
Peace.